Hey, what's up YouTube? It's ICU, and in today's tutorial, I am incredibly excited to show you how to jailbreak iOS 13.5, the latest firmware by Apple on literally all devices, including those powered by Apple's newer A12 and A13 CPUs, being the iPhone XS, XR, and iPhone 11 series respectively, as well as of course the newer iPads with the A12 CPUs. However, this guide does also work on older devices too, being those like the iPhone X with its A11 CPU and older, so literally all devices. With this guide, I'm going to be showing you how to jailbreak using a computer, either Windows or a Mac, but I wanted to say our no computer jailbreak tutorial is in fact coming, and it's coming very shortly. So be sure to click that subscribe button and ding that notification bell with notifications set to all if you have yet to. That way you'll be notified the very second our tutorial for how to jailbreak without a computer drops. But I wanted to say that with access to a computer, it's much more reliable because you do not have to use a service that has a certificate that could be revoked. You don't have to have any sort of reliance on anyone or any third-party service at all, and you can jailbreak at literally any point. All you need is just a computer. If you don't have access to one, you can borrow one. But like I said, if all else fails, our no computer jailbreak tutorial is coming shortly as well. So having said that, we're going to get into this. The steps for Mac and Windows are slightly different in that you have to actually use Alt-Server first and get that set up and running properly before getting Alt-Store to then sideload the Unc0ver IPA and get your device jailbroken. It's overall pretty simple, but it's just a little bit involved. So the steps will differ. Timestamps for everything can be found down below in the description, so you can skip past whichever section is not pertinent or relevant to you. Also, I wanted to say that you guys need to delete any pending software or OTA updates, and this really will only apply if you're watching this video at a later point. You want to go inside of Settings, General, followed by iPhone Storage. If you have an iPad, it will say iPad Storage, and you need to find any pending updates listed here and tap it, followed by Delete. Now, if something like iOS 13.5.1 is dropped to patch the jailbreak and your device downloads the OTA file for it, it could conflict with the jailbreak. So make sure you do this prior to anything and get it deleted. Also, if you're not on iOS 13.5 and you're watching this video now when it's released or shortly thereafter, I do recommend getting updated to iOS 13.5 ASAP. Sooner or later, Apple is going to close this jailbreak. They are going to patch it, and they are going to stop signing iOS 13.5, which again, as of now, is the current firmware, and that will be the latest firmware compatible with this jailbreak. So do not update if Apple has already released something past iOS 13.5, but as of now, the window is still open and you are golden, so get to 13.5 if you have yet to. Okay, so having said all of that, Windows steps are first. Let's get into those now. Okay, now that we are on the Windows side of things first, you need to install both iTunes and iCloud directly from Apple's website. You simply cannot use the version of iTunes from the Microsoft Store. Now, links to both will be in the article that is listed down below in the description of this video. Here's the article essentially, and we're just going to scroll down to the download section. You guys don't have to concern yourself with really anything else unless you're curious about the written steps. So what we need first is iTunes as well as iCloud directly from Apple. So you can just click on the buttons to download them. I'm going to open both of them in separate tabs. And the iCloud download is pretty straightforward. You just have a blue download button and you just click it, and it downloads the executable file, whereas iTunes, it wants you to get it from the Microsoft Store. So you might be wondering, well, how the heck do I get this thing? Simple, just scroll down to where it says looking for other versions. You see that? Click right where it says Windows, and then it redirects to this page. Ironically enough, it is the exact same URL. It's just apple.com/iTunes when you're on the previous page as well as on this page. You have to scroll down, go through that motion of looking for other version, click on Windows, and then you can click the blue download button here where it says download iTunes for Windows. I already have both downloaded, so let's go ahead and just open up my downloads folder. And now that you're here, you can go through the steps of installing them. To do so, just double click and just walk through it. Now, it's giving me the option to remove and repair because I already have them installed. Now, if this is the case for you, I actually do recommend removing iTunes as well as iCloud if you already have them installed. And to do so, you can go to the Add or Remove Programs section of settings. To find that, you can type right where it says type here to search add or remove, and boom, there you go. You can see it pops up once you type in add or, and it's the first result right here, add or remove programs. And then you get this pop up right here, and you can just search for whatever you want, any piece of software, and you can click it, click on uninstall, and you're good to go. And then you can go through the motions of installing that executable I linked you guys to. Now, on top of that, if you are encountering any problems with the iCloud install, I know I really did. I'm going to throw up a screenshot of the problem I was encountering right here. It just would not install, and I got several issues. What I want you guys to do is come to this exact same page inside of settings, so the add or remove program section, and you're gonna type in Apple. And for everything that's listed here, I want you to click it, and then I want you to click on modify. You're going to receive this pop-up, and I want you to click repair and then go through the motions. So click next and just keep going through that for everything that's listed under Apple. And then if you have iTunes installed as well, I do recommend removing that if you're trying to get iCloud up and running, and just installing them both from Apple's site. I linked you guys to those executables so you have them. Okay, so now that everything is out of the way and you have both of those installed, I want you guys to actually load up iCloud. And once iCloud is open, you need to, at the bare minimum, have at least iCloud Drive and bookmarks checked off. I don't know why, for whatever reason, that ended up working for me. When I didn't have these checked, it just simply wouldn't work. And once you have those checked and iTunes installed and everything fully repaired if you need to, then I want you guys to actually restart your computer. Yes, that's right. Just restart and make sure that iCloud is open once more. And then you need to actually launch up iTunes if you don't have it open already. So open iTunes and connect your device to your computer via a standard USB cable. And once it is connected, you will receive this pop-up if you've never used the computer in the past that you're trying to connect to. If you have, then you should be good to go, but just tap on where it says trust and it'll ask you to input your device's passcode. And iTunes should also pop up with a similar message. Click on continue inside of iTunes, and you want to essentially ensure that your device is recognized by iTunes. If it's not, you're going to have to go through the motion that I just showed you guys, essentially confirming it. So once that's done, you can just minimize it, just leave it open, it's fine. Now I want you guys to go back to that exact same article, and you're going to download alt0ver. So just click on the button to do so, wait for the downloads to be gathered, and then you guys are just looking for this one link right here. Once it does redirect, it's just scroll down, find this link where it tells you to click on it, and you will be redirected, and then just click on Windows to download the executable. Or rather, it's not going to be an executable, it's going to be a zip folder, and by default, you can actually just open it. So open it up, and it should just pop up with a similar window to this, and then just double click on Alt Installer. You don't even need to extract it really, and you can just click on next, 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 yes, and close. And now it is actually installed. So at this point, you are good to go finally to get this thing installed on your iOS device. Now you need to launch alt0ver. So just type in alt in the menu here and you can load it up. And once it does load up, it's going to put it in the bottom right. If it's not right here immediately, if it's not directly to the left of the volume controls, you can click on this little arrow right here to show hidden icons, and boom, there it is. It's this little triangle. And then I want you guys to click on it and then hover over Install Alt Store and then select the device. If the device doesn't pop up, it's either not connected or not recognized inside of iTunes, in which case you're gonna have to trust the connection. So just click on it, and then it's going to pop up with this little window right here asking you for, you guessed it, your Apple ID and password. Go ahead and input it. Now, this is neither going to collect nor store your Apple ID. It's merely passing it through to Apple's servers for signing purposes only. And if you do have two-factor authentication enabled for your Apple ID, most Apple IDs do, then it will actually transition to a screen asking you to input a passcode. Now, on one of your trusted Apple ID devices, one that you've logged in with previously, you'll receive a little pop-up asking you to allow. So tap on that pop-up and then you'll receive a little code and put that code in here. It's the exact same process anytime you try to log into any new device with your Apple ID. Remember, none of this is collected. It's just passed through to Apple's servers. And once you have the proper password inputted for your Apple ID, just go ahead and click on install. And then it's going to either say that it's already installed on another device if you've used alt0ver before like I have for this Apple ID, or it will just work. So I'm going to click on OK and just tell it to install here and now. And I get this little pop-up in the lower right-hand corner saying that it's installing Alt Store onto my iPhone. And there you go. You can see we do have Alt Store installed. Now, the last thing we need to do is actually trust it on our device before we can open it, because we're going to receive a pop-up saying that it's untrusted. So go inside of the settings application, scroll down to General, and then scroll down to Device Management, and then tap on where your Apple ID is listed, and you either need to tap on Trust or Verify based on which one it gives you. It's just going to be the blue option, and for me it's Verify. I'm going to tap on Verify again for that pop-up, and then it is good to go. And now I can actually launch it up and it will work properly. Now, this is where the steps are going to diverge slightly. So now I'm going to show macOS users exactly how to get Alt Store installed via alt0ver. So let's go ahead and switch on over to macOS here. So like I said, it is slightly different, but what you're going to have to do is still install alt0ver on your Mac. So navigate to the article that's linked below and scroll down to the download section, and you're going to click on alt0ver. You basically just need one download for macOS. It's not like Windows where you need the 3 and you have to worry about repairing certain programs if it doesn't work right. And once you are redirected, just click where it says click here, and you will be prompted to download for macOS or Windows. Obviously, click on macOS if you have a Mac, and it's just going to put alt0ver inside of your downloads. So you can either drag it to your applications folder, or you can just launch it from downloads, and you're going to receive this pop-up the first time you use it. It's saying that it's downloaded from the internet. Are you sure you want to open it? Just click on open, and that's really it so far, because now we have to install the Mail plugin for macOS, which is actually not too difficult. It's very simple, but it is required. So if you have yet to actually set up a Mail account inside of the default Mail application, you need to do that now. I already have an account set up and everything. So once you do, click on the Alt Store icon up in the top menu bar. It is the triangle, and then click on Install Mail Plugin, followed by Install Plugin to the pop-up, and input your admin password. Once that is in, it says Mail Plugin installed. Click on Mail in the top left menu bar, followed by Preferences. And then here, click on Manage Plugins at the bottom. If you don't have this option, if it doesn't say Manage Plugins, guess what? You didn't install it through alt0ver properly, and or you didn't have an account set up through Mail prior to this. Now, once you do, you will receive this pop-up right here and a checkbox next to alt-plugin.mail bundle. Tick it off, and then click on Apply and Restart Mail. Mail has to be open for this to work. Now you can just minimize it. It can still be in your dock, but it has to be open. And now you can connect your device to your computer via a USB cable. And if this is the first time connecting your device to your computer, you need to go to Finder, and you'll receive this message right here, just to trust the iPhone. So click on Trust inside of Finder. You'll receive this pop-up on your iOS device. Tap Trust, input your device's passcode, and that connection will be established. If for this next step you do not see the option to install Alt Store on your iOS device, that's because you did not trust that connection. So I'm clicking on Alt Store again up in the top right, hovering over Install Alt Store, and you can see my iPhone listed here. Again, if your device is not listed there, it's because it's not connected, or it's because you did not authenticate that connection first inside of Finder. So go ahead and click on your iOS device and then input your Apple ID. Now, this is neither collected nor stored. It's simply passed through to Apple's servers just to install and sign the application. Now, if you have two-factor authentication installed and set up on your Apple ID, most new Apple IDs do, then it will actually transition to a screen asking you to input a passcode. Now, on one of your trusted Apple ID devices, one that you've logged in with previously, you'll receive a little pop-up asking you to allow. So tap on that pop-up and then you'll receive a little code and put that code in here. It's the exact same process anytime you try to log into any new device with your Apple ID. Remember, none of this is collected. It's just passed through to Apple's servers. And then click on install. And you might receive this pop-up saying that Alt Store is already installed on another device, just like I have, because I've already used Alt Store specifically with this Apple ID. If you do, just click on continue. If not, it will just install it. So you can see in just a second, it's going to put me on the next page right here, and I do have Alt Store installed. Now, before I can actually open it, we do have to trust the account we use to sign it, which is our own account, obviously. So go inside of the settings application, scroll down to general, and then scroll down to device management, and then tap on where your Apple ID is listed, and you either need to tap on trust or verify based on which one it gives you. It's just going to be the blue option, and for me, it's verify. I'm going to tap on verify again for that pop-up. All right, and this is the point in the tutorial where the steps converge. Really, all you need to do is just ensure that your device is still connected to your computer and Alt Server is running in the background. Doesn't matter whether it's a Mac or a PC. So we can go ahead and swipe on over to the Alt Store application, and I want you guys to go to the settings tab at the bottom and then tap right where it says sign in. I've already taken the liberty of doing this. I've already signed in, so it just says sign out. But just use your exact same Apple ID that you used to get Alt Store installed via Alt Server, and then navigate to My Apps. You're going to tap on the plus in the upper left-hand corner, and then you're just going to tap on the Uncover version 5 IPA, and it will go through the steps to actually get it signed and installed on your device. So as you can see here, now under the active section, I have Uncover, and it says it has been sideloaded. So Uncover has been installed on my device now. And if you didn't already log in inside of the settings, when you tap on plus followed by the IPA, a little screen will pop up just asking you to sign in there as well. It doesn't really matter where you do it, so long as you do. And then you can navigate to Uncover and open it up. And we're going to tap on Jailbreak. And after you do that, you're going to receive a little pop-up from the sponsor. You can go ahead and exit out of it, and it will say jailbreak completed. You can tap OK. The jailbreak is actually not fully done yet. What it just did was created a backup of the root FS or file system. It made a snapshot. Now that snapshot is really useful because if you go to unjailbreak, it's going to use said snapshot to restore everything back to your unjailbroken state. Don't worry, it will not affect any of your user or app data. It leaves all of that fully untouched. It's just going to revert the system files to how they were prior to the jailbreak. And after that, it's just going to reboot, and you can go ahead and enter your device's passcode, swipe on over to Uncover again, and then you're going to tap on Jailbreak, and it's going to go through the full jailbreak process at this point, and then your device should just have to respring. So it will just take a little bit right here. And once the jailbreak's complete, I want to show you guys inside of Cydia that it does in fact confirm that this device is running iOS 13.5. So you can see it says jailbreak completed. Let's go ahead and tap on OK. And I have noticed that sometimes right here, the device will not display the Apple logo, in which case you'll have to reboot manually. And you can do that with a combination of key presses. On the iPhone 10 style devices, you just press volume up, volume down, and you hold the side button. But at any rate, it worked. We have Cydia. We can go ahead and tap into it to open. And I want to show you guys, like I said, at the bottom that we are running iOS 13.5. So it does confirm that this iPhone, being identifier 11,6, aka the iPhone XS Max, is running iOS 13.5. And now we can go to the changes section as well. And I'm going to show you that installing these packages work. Now, right now I have noticed that there is an issue with a couple of these. So we'll receive this error right here, and we can go ahead and tap on return to Cydia. You'll see that it at least did get one of those available upgrades installed, but just give it a day or so and make sure you check back to the changes regularly and just install any and all available changes. So that's it, guys. I am so very excited to be jailbroken on the latest public firmware. It's super awesome stuff. And ding that notification bell with notifications turned on to ensure that you don't miss out when we publish our brand new top tweaks video. And of course, as I mentioned toward the beginning, our jailbreak for no computer users. So with that said, hope you liked it. And until next time, this is ICU signing out.